guys are the best Texas bourbon bottlers in the world. We are so glad to have you here. Thank you for your help today. Salud.
Fictional hero Tom Sawyer has nothing on Dan Garrison. Today, he's convinced dozens of volunteers from all over Texas to inspect, seal, and box up his company's craft bourbon. Of course, when Tom got his friends to whitewash that fence, he never offered this kind of incentive.
We asked them to give us 2 days of their time. They come out here, we feed them breakfast in the morning, we feed them lunch in the afternoon, and we give them a shot of courage every half hour to keep them motivated. Salud.
Salud.
We have almost 5,000 people on our waiting list to come out here and bottle. We've got homemakers, we've got moms and dads, we got lawyers, we got truck drivers, it's everybody, even astronauts. 13,000!
Welcome to the annual bottling party at Garrison Brothers Distillery in Hye, Texas. Every fall, groups of friends, family, and customers join the assembly line on Dan's Hill Country Ranch, all in the name of good spirits.
This is vacation for me. I come out here with my dad, and my father-in-law comes too, and we just hang out, have a great time, drink beer, drink bourbon, bottle bourbon. It's a lot of fun all day.
What are you doing right now?
I'm going to number every bottle on the side there. This is 11,528 of this release, and then on the back I'm going to put my signature.
You sign every bottle.
Every bottle. And this is my favorite part. This is like sending my babies off into the world to go forth and succeed. Everybody's worked really hard to get this bourbon in the bottle, so we're proud to see it head off into Liquorland.
Every time DG signs his name, it marks the end of a journey that started more than 12 years ago. He was a bourbon lover, overflowing with Texas pride, and took a chance on doing something no Texan has ever done before: make commercial bourbon legally in the Lone Star State.
You don't claim to be the first bourbon distillery in Texas.
We are the first legal bourbon distillery in Texas.
That's what I mean.
Everybody still thinks bourbon has to come from Kentucky in the United States, and that's just not true. We're as proud of the heritage of bourbon as anybody in Kentucky, and we protect bourbon's mystique, if you will. We do it right. We make all of it 100% right here on my ranch, from Texas grain and Texas water.
For the big boys back in Kentucky, Garrison's entire output would be little more than a rounding error. They certainly have the size advantage, but Dan discovered that by distilling in his home state, he has access to some of the best raw materials on the planet.
The water out here in the Texas Hill Country is the worst water to take a shower in that you've ever used. You can't make coffee with it because it's got so many total dissolved solids in it, calcium, phosphates, sulfites, but it's great for making bourbon whiskey because those are nutrients. Those are food for the yeast during the fermentation process.
You're actually using rainwater in this right here.
Correct.
Right?
The rainwater is what we use to proof the bourbon. We've got 65 acres on the other side of the road that's planted in soft red winter wheat, and that goes right into the bourbon.
Even with those natural advantages, this business is not for the faint of heart.
So these are our stills. These are two 500-gallon stills. This is Fat Man, that's Little Boy, and that little 100-gallon still over there, that's the Copper Cowgirl.
Distilling is a long, complicated, scientific process, and Dan has chosen the highest quality, hardest, and best tasting option at every turn.
If we're gonna make a bourbon from Texas, it's gotta be the best damn bourbon we can possibly make. The corn is all raised in the Texas Panhandle. It comes from farms in Dallam County. It's all organic. This is the first organic bourbon ever made. As we're taking the corn and the wheat and the barley, we grind that down to a powder. Then we're gonna cook that. You've heard of sour mash whiskey? We use a sweet mash. What that means is we use fresh grain every single time. And then the mash will ferment for 4 or 5 days with yeast added to it. You can actually drink this. This is distiller's beer after 4 or 5 days. Give it a shot. Tastes like breakfast cereal.
Yeah.
That's the distiller's beer.
In just 5 years on the market, Garrison Brothers has already won awards, grabbed headlines, and increased production every year. Each bottle is overflowing with Lone Star ingredients, our crops, our water, our manpower. But the most Texan thing of all might just be Dan Garrison's pride and determination.
How proud of this are you?
Can you tell? I'm so proud of this. It's all I drink anymore. And I've been a Kentucky bourbon drinker for a long time. I'm very proud of it. And frankly, I think it can stand up to any Kentucky bourbon.